at the start. So I guess I'll hit start in 3, 2, 1, go. So
Good luck.
yeah, you can skip the intro right at the beginning. By the way, there's an invisible tripwire I'm gonna try to jump over, and if I get it, I'll save 12 seconds and make it a free world record. Oh, not quite. Okay, so
that was really close.
yeah, this is the intro dialogue. There's like a little box. Like, look at the yellow part of the rampart in the background. Like, that's where the rectangle's lined up with. That's what you got to jump over. Oh well. So the first thing we're gonna do in this run is commit suicide. I'm also gonna hold A coming into the screen because there's very little RNG influence in this game, but what there is, you can influence by pressing buttons on the controller. Like the bit mask of your controls influences RNG in some way. So yeah, holding A will make that guy jump left first and kill me just a little bit sooner. And I've actually learned, like, just done some research on when to hold the A button and have a really good RNG route through the early game here. So yeah, this is Eolus, as the intro dialogue box explained for me. Guy came back from a long journey wearing just a bathrobe, completely unarmed, and his hometown is all wrecked. So after getting the Ring of Elf, you go talk to the king, and he'll give you some money and get you set up. Now, an interesting thing about the king... Oh, oops, I didn't go in the door and lost my walk speed. I'll talk about walk speed next, but anyway, so king gives you this dialogue if you talk to him with 0 gold. Simple as that. There's no other flag associated with it, so if you spend exactly 1,500 golds in the shops and come back, then you get this dialogue box again, and you get 1,500 more gold. So if you're just learning to run the game, that's a really good way to start off the run. It is faster, however, to talk to the king once. I'll talk about that a bit later. So getting back to the walk speed mechanic, you guys may have seen that, you know, this guy kind of starts off with this brisk lurch, and then goes into a brisk run with, like, shoulders swinging. I believe it takes 96 frames to reach full walk speed, which feels like about twice as fast as initial speed. So every time you lose walk speed, I guess you lose like a second and a half-ish. It's not a lot. But the goal is to keep walk speed at full while doing all the shopping. So you press up to talk to the shopkeepers. So that means I have to, like, hold left, then press up while still holding left. And I gotta do this 3 times, because I'm gonna buy... well, I'm not going to buy one of everything. If you're doing 2 King, what you do is you buy a red potion and then sell it for half of what you just paid for it, so that spends the remaining 80 gold out of your inventory. And now we're going to go buy 3 jack keys. Okay, good, we kept walk speed too. So yeah, these 3 jack keys are all we need to finish the whole game. Rare footage of someone smoking in a Nintendo game here. The fan base who watches me play this seems to call him Smoking Bill Murray. Looks a lot like Bill Murray.
Yep.
The guy who sells meat looks a lot like Bill from King of the Hill, so lots of Bills in this game. Yeah, these guys also say thank you for shopping when you're done talking to them, but you can skip that dialogue box by pressing B, so I'm trying to do that with good timing as well. Oh, I pressed it too early there. At least I kept walk speed. Okay, there's also a silhouette of a cross above the church if you look real careful. Oops. There we go. Yeah, there's a fair bit of religious censorship in this game. Like, the people who give you passwords are called gurus. They're not, like, clergy or anything. Oh, oops. That was weird. Okay, hold A clearing this dialogue box, and get that guy to jump at you. Hold A coming into this screen. Makes everything work out better. Oh, oops. Oh, there's an extra jump. That may affect RNG now. Okay.
Huh.
Oh, I didn't get damage boosted the right way. Okay, well,
No,
we might not be on the RNG route that I like now. No, not quite. That guy goes left like in the old route. Oh well. Well, I'll try to make it work anyway. So yeah, not a lot happening here. I'm just killing guys on the way to the first dungeon. This is the town of Appaloon. They built a wall up ahead to keep the dwarves out, so you're going to bust that wall down and leave them defenseless. We're going to go into this scary dungeon, get a mattock, which will be needed to bust the wall. Normally you have to go like all the way to the end and fight a boss, but there's a hidden mattock on the very second screen of it. So throughout Faxanadu there are hidden item screens. They appear on every 4th visit to these screens. Well, there's only like one counter in the game that keeps track of this for you. Oh, I held A, but the guy went the other way. I'm definitely not on the correct RNG route anymore. But yeah, so every time I visit one of these hidden item screens, the counter goes up by 1, and on the 4th visit, there's going to be a mattock that will appear when I kill all the enemies on this screen. Oh, I didn't the double hit. This is where I split. Sub 5 minute Matic. And
Not bad.
I also figured out it's faster to go along the top here. Oh, oops. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Okay, this guy jumped left. Maybe this screen will go the way I want it to. We'll see. Oh, no. Yeah, this screen is called Fight Club, and it's pretty annoying. I figured out a way to go through here so you get damage boosted forward the whole way through it and get ladder reset. Like, when you get hit on the ladder, your character is set into a standing state and you can jump again, instead of having to climb all the way up the ladder. Oh, and this guy didn't go left. That's a huge time loss. I could have demonstrated that perfectly on this screen, because if he goes left, you can kill him quick enough to get on the ladder, then the ghost will nudge you while you're climbing the ladder, but that brick will be in front of your head, so you get ladder reset and can just jump again. Also took a hit there I very much did not need to. Also, jumping over that pizza head guy is a lot harder than it looks. I think it's nearly pixel perfect. So anyway, because I didn't talk to the king again, I gotta do some farming here. I gotta kill this white mage outside of town until I have 2,800 golds. And that's also harder than it looks, because your weapon has very short range. It's very hard to get double hits in like this. However, there's a bit of a setup for doing this. I was just explaining to Toad how to do this. You want the dude's elbow to be visible from behind the pillar there. Oops, and I had a perfect setup there to do it again, but I was distracted talking. See, I jumped too early there, but I know how to recover from that. There's just kind of like different maneuvers you have to do to like push these guys in the right way. That time I jumped too late. And you want to jump like right when you're like on top of the dark section, the dark green section of that pillar. So you gotta like manage your health and magic a little bit. You want enough magic to fire about 5 shots for this next section of the game. Health, there's a lot of death abuse in this game, so I want to try to like manage my health so that I can death warp quickly when I'm done in the next dungeon. Okay, I got to do 2 more reps here. I was hoping I could get Toad to talk more here, but I talked about the grind itself instead.
That's all good, man. It's all good. Do your thing.
Yeah. Okay, so we got enough money. Looks like I killed an extra hopping skull, Monodora, they're called. Because they get 59 gold. But again, I did not get on the correct RNG route. Yeah, didn't get intro skip, didn't get the A button presses. I didn't show off like any of the new stuff I've been working on. But whatever, it just means I gotta stream this game a lot more. But yeah, that wing boot purchase is the single most expensive purchase in the game. You won't have to watch my gold run down anymore. This guy gives me a title, which I can't skip by pressing B. So the way... Actually, do you know how experience works in this game, Toad? So you can like talk about that for me?
Actually, I do not.
Oh, okay.
I don't actually remember.
And I gotta wind the timer, or the visits counter to the correct position there, because I fell off. That's a hidden item screen, so I actually had to revisit it that many times to avoid messing up other things. Hopefully I counted it correctly. Hopefully that was 4 visits total. Do you know how wing boot pausing works? You can talk about that for me?
I do. I think it's like 1 every
64 frames.
64 frames that you have to pause in order for to. You see the in-game timer at the top right there next to the T?
Yeah.
That's his wing boot counter. And if he pauses for about, I'd say like as short amount of time as you want, but as long as you're paused on that 64th frame, the counter won't actually count down. So you can keep your wing boots for a lot longer. So he's gonna do something called the ultimate flight plan here.
Later, that's the next life.
Oh, is that the next part? Okay.
I don't have to do that much pausing for this part, because I'm just going into a dungeon and then dying. I still like to get the short pauses when I can. I might be in trouble though. I might be 1 shot short of doing the Joker key screen correctly. It looks like I have a bit too much health as well. Like I said, there's so many things you can do to like manage your health and stuff. Like I'm gonna take the hit from this guy instead of shooting him out of the way, for example. Oh, I'm 1 short, so I gotta go way over here. Okay, so I get to do more wing boot pausing, just to demonstrate. So you might be asking, like, Shiner, how come you didn't just set up a metronome for 225 BPM so that you just pause every 4 beats? Well, this game does some strange stuff. It's like the energy zone skip in Contra. The wing boot timer is global. Like it keeps going while the game is paused, but it also manually dials that timer to 0 whenever you touch a screen transition. And this... Oh, wait. My health is way too high. I should have taken the high road there. Taken the hit from Pizza Head. Well, we'll see what we can do about this, then. So, yeah. This means that there are visual cues where you can pause on purpose, though. And I'm gonna drop back down here. See if I can take another wraparound hit. Perfect. Okay.
Nice.
And I gotta keep the wing boots alive. Here we go. I'll take, like, physically longer pauses when I'm not quite sure of the timing, either. Like, if you notice the music drop out, well, it might be because of my capture card being not the best and hiccuping audio anyway, but this means Faxanadu is the perfect game for me to speedrun because there are also just strange pauses in the music from the way I play it. So, okay, so we still have time on the clock. That's good. When your wing boots run out, you get a dialogue box that says, "The power of the wing boots is gone." So you always want to die before you hit that dialogue box to save time. So, yeah, I know a lot of visual cues for where to pause on certain screens. However, the game does not dial that timer back to 0 for going in doorways. So the next part where I use wing boots, where I gotta do some shopping while wing boots are active, that's pretty annoying because I have to, like, there isn't much I can do to save my wing boot timer, basically, is what I'm saying. And I screwed this up too. That was really odd. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's do this. What the heck? I can't do the screen correctly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. B button just doesn't want to work when I want it to there. Oh, I fired a bit too early. Okay, we'll go with that. So this is Ointment. This is you cannot buy this. This is like a temporary power-up that just makes you invincible for about 50 in-game seconds or so. And we're going to go into the last spring, which is full of these very dangerous wyvern enemies. One of these fireballs that they shoot will take out about 1/3 of your life bar. Getting body checked by them doesn't hurt nearly as much, but as you can see, like, fighting... These are actually the most dangerous enemy in the game, and yet the game throws them at you constantly as, like, as an early game boss, but they're just way harder than any other boss in the game. So the progression in this game is a little bit strange. We're gonna kill 5 of these in total, well, the 5th one on the way out. They have 75 HP, so what I'm doing... the dagger does 5 damage, and Deluge does 6 damage. So what I'm doing is I fire either 1 deluge or 2 deluges by pressing B twice. So that does 22 plus 22 plus 16 plus 16 damage, which is 76. So just enough to kill them in 4 jumps. You can maybe hear me pressing the B button a second time, depending on the audio there. Oop, I did it in 5 jumps. But as you can see, if you're really clean at farming those, then you can kill 5 before your ointment runs out. So yeah, we gotta get all that money because we're gonna buy the weapon that we use for the rest of the game in this town. And we also need to build up 4,500 by the time we get to the next town. Not the next one, the one after that. Need 4,500 by the time we get there to buy 3 king keys, which are all the king keys we need to beat the game. And that queen key we bought earlier is the only one we need to beat the game. Queen keys, like queen doors, hide most of the optional content in the game. Probably the hardest dungeon in the game is entirely optional. It contains the pendant, which is an item that's supposed to permanently increase your attack power, but this game is actually glitched, and they used the wrong flag in the assembly code, so you actually start the game with the pendant, and collecting the pendant instead permanently removes it from your inventory, so it permanently reduces your attack power by 20%. And thank goodness you start with the pendant, because the early game would be so awkward without it. Like, those hopping skull enemies that were all over the place have 11 HP. So that's just enough to kill them with 1 dagger plus 1 deluge. It would take so long to kill them otherwise. So thank you, Faxanadu devs, for giving us a more fun game in the end.
That's great, I never do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be killing a lot of things on the way here to build up money. Also doing some crafty damage boosts and managing health and stuff. Bees do pretty much no damage, so I'd rather use that to get boosted forward. Your iframes in this game are pretty long as well. Yeah, and I'm getting pushed into that wall behind me there. Oh no, I dropped that coin. That could be a problem. Wait, no it won't. Won't be a problem. There's one more bee outside of Victim. Just have to kill that, probably. Yeah, I'm basically doing the world record route right now, and it's very tight. Like at every, you can't take any extraneous hits. And well, after the next town, I'm not gonna need money anymore. But just on the way there, like, you get there with like exactly enough money, pretty much. Welcome to this Metro.
You don't have to do any extra grinding at the end on the soldier out front.
Okay, here we go. This is Ultimate Flight Plan, so I am the only person who does this. I have to make this pair of wing boots last until I get the Black Onyx, which is the next plot item. Oh, I made that 40 last for so long. Oh well. I like to think I'm pretty good at these timing cues. Should maybe take my headphones off just so I can hear the CRT a little better. I think I'll be fine though. I have lots of different visual cues I look at. Like that one I use based on where that enemy is on screen. So I'm gonna have to kill... Oh my god, I'm just dropping every wing boot second here. Especially because like I have to do something differently on this screen. Like I just watch my timer like a hawk to like make sure to get a feel for when it's going to reduce next. Like I feel like that 64 frame rhythm is just ingrained in my body now. And I heard that it's helpful in Zelda 1 as well. That's how often Ganon shoots fireballs at you in the final battle. So if you can pause while doing that fight, then you may make it a little easier for yourself. So again, I want to try to keep walk speed here. Hopefully, 26 on the wing boot timer, manageable. I think I can make it all the way there without it running out. And that's relevant too because it'll save me a lot of time if I can fly after killing this next boss. What was I gonna say though? I can't remember. It'll come back to me, I think. Oh dang. Yeah, dropping wing boot seconds feels so bad because you lose, like, you're not moving in real time, right? Your character on screen is not moving while the game is paused. So if you miss your wing boot second, you waste frames and also lose the wing boot time. I'll pause a little bit early there. As you can see, health and magic are getting very low, but not to worry. All according to plan here. Oh, I was gonna do, like, you have to pause really early when doing, like, an up-down screen transition. And I've learned how to, like, pause there, then do the ladder re-jump. Oh, I didn't explain ladder re-jumping either. Explain how to do it to Toad before we went live. Maybe he can explain it while I'm doing dicey pausing in here. Because I'm gonna do one on this screen.
So, what happens when you're on a ladder and you can hit and you kind of like...
or if wing boots are active, actually.
Oh, yes, when wing boots are active.
I'm gonna take long pauses here. I don't really have good visual cues for this screen.
But basically, you can just jump up a ladder, which is incredibly faster than actually climbing them. You've seen the climbing animation in this game a lot at this point. And you can tell it's extremely slow. I think it's similar to like the first Mega Man or second Mega Man.
I was supposed to get a double hit there. That was a little scary.
But you had plenty of time left by the time you got here at this fight.
Oh, yes, we got it! Okay, I have 4 seconds left on the wing boot timer. That's enough to fly out of here and then get killed by the enemy that does more damage. So if your wing boot timer runs out before killing that boss, you have to climb all the way around the top, then drop in through the bottom. It costs like 12 seconds. It's really hideous. So that was good. Pulled off Ultimate Flight Plan on a marathon run. That's pretty awesome. You actually climb ladders faster while wing boots are active, but yeah, what you do is like, while you're holding A, you press up and let go of up. So it's kind of like A, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a weird, well, not a rhythm. I guess there's a rhythm to it because like you stop accelerating vertically at some point while jumping, so that's kind of like the ideal timing for that. You may have noticed I jumped over that guy and like turned around in the air and also lost walk speed. Having wing boots active changes your jumping physics. Like normally you have like the fixed jump arc like a Castlevania game, but while wing boots are active, you can actually move around in the air. So what you can do is, if you can like short charge Super Metroid style and like turn around in one frame, you can keep walk speed while jumping over that guy. Not a big deal, but looks pretty when you do it, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna take 2 damage boosts from these guys. So I should remember how I explained the walk speed mechanic, right? Even if you get damage boosted forward at full walk speed, that actually loses you 10 frames. So because I like walk through those, you also lose walk speed when you get hit though. or connect with your sword. So if you're getting hit anyway, it's worth it to like go forward, like backwards, then forwards, you know, for damage boosting. Okay, I barely made it over. That's called the impossible poison jump. It's pretty much impossible to jump over that bottle of poison. So I gotta kill this banana squid for more health. That's what my research has led me to believe here. So here's an example. Like, I get damage boosted left into the wall and don't go backwards at all, but then get damage boosted forward. Like, if I'm going to get hit anyway and lose all my walk speed, then I might as well get a forward damage boost out of it in the process. So anyway, talk to the guru there to set that as my Death Warp respawn point, because that's where we'll be going next. Dying in this section of the game is horrifically costly, though, because this door here requires a king key, but you cannot buy king keys in this town of Daybreak, so if you die, you have to go back to Victim. Oh, I got damage boosted the wrong way there because I lost walk speed, so I was in the wrong position on screen. But yeah, you have to go back to Victim, buy a king key, and then Death Warp back to Daybreak. It costs minutes. So, yeah, it's pretty important to not die here. I usually don't, though.
Especially if you're not familiar with the game, like, he's listing off the crazy amount of mechanics. This game has, like, incredibly awesome speedrun mechanics.
Yeah, like, here's a double damage boost. It costs a lot of health, though. But to do that, to have enough health to do that, I had to kill the banana squid outside of Daybreak, so I don't even know if it was worth it, you know? Oh, I was talking to Toad about that earlier. It's really hard to jump into that screen. Yeah, this game is weird. It's unlike Mega Man games where you have to be climbing on a ladder to go to the next screen. You can jump into the next screen. That's what I did just outside of Daybreak there earlier. Anyway, I gotta fight another one of these bosses. These things are pretty easy, though. It's gonna be ugly, though. I'm gonna do it in 3 jumps. So yeah, this is the battle suit. As the guru I'm about to talk to explains, when you have the battle suit and the battle helmet, you can equip the Dragon Slayer, the best sword in the game. It does 20 damage, whereas the longsword I'm doing does 10. But as you can see from the way boss fights go, I just get in their face and fire magic really quickly, so... since I have to revisit that screen anyway, I do pick up the magical rod, because why not? It just boosts your magic power by 50%, so now my deluge does 9 damage instead of 6. So it caught up to the damage of my sword. But yeah, the trigger for this dialogue box, though, is just having the battle suit. You don't need to get the battle helmet to beat the game. If I did, I would have to buy one more king key, and that would be another 1,500 gold. That would just... that would make the run so ugly, because you'd have to, like, farm in Joker Spring. Anyway, let's see if I can get this new damage boost and Burial taught me. Yeah, I got it! It's pretty hard to line up. You have to walk to the right a little bit to get hit by the other fireball. It's actually really hard to get hit by the one on the right, and not the one on the left. And yeah, that's what I was talking about there, how I jumped into this screen instead of having to climb the ladder. And that's what that damage boost there should look like. I mean, it does cost me 10 frames, but I can't kill that enemy in just 10 frames. It's not even possible, actually, because Burial was telling me about the damage mechanics in this game. You can damage enemies with your sword every 8 frames, and you can damage them with magic every 4 frames. But I think the invincibility timers overlap somewhat. I haven't figured out all those mechanics yet, but I want to try to find like the ideal mashing rhythm for killing bosses in this game. And there's an example of a ladder reset. Like, that pine cone hit me, and my character went into a neutral state, and I was able to jump instead of having to climb all those ladders. And yeah, I had to face left there to make that spooky ghost spawn in the correct spot. Get this health here. Here's some hidden wing boots. I gotta get him second visit. I was explaining to Toad how I don't like getting these wing boots because it looks really ugly. I have to go all the way over here and climb all these ladders. It makes the screen take 10 seconds longer, but getting another pair of wing boots on the screen where I got the Joker key costs 12 seconds. So it's still 2 seconds faster to do it that way, as far as I know. The other option would be cutting an entire pair of wing boots out of the route somehow. And I do know a way, but it's so completely insane, there just wouldn't even be enough time to explain it in the rest of this run. Uh-oh. Okay, that's fine. I was supposed to go, like, right onto the ground level there, but if you mash at the wrong rhythm and that guy hits you a second time, you're in deep trouble. This particular section of the run, health is kind of precious to manage. Like, your health gets pretty low, but you do build it back up. Dartmoor, the Dwarf Kingdom. Pretty cool music here. Cool cobblestone background, too. We're gonna pop into this town. Oh wow, I didn't get the health. I've never like landed there facing right. I think I must have pressed right before attacking. But yeah, I'm gonna set that as my respawn point. Take a ladder reset there. So my health's a little lower than it should be. So just for safety, I think I won't do something I came up with then. These guys have 37 HP, so I can just stab 3 times and then shoot a deluge there for the killing blow. And we're going to use wing boots back here. I should point out that I switched to holding the controller claw, or kind of like an arcade stick. When I do this, like I need to press A in order to glide, or like jump. I need to press B to attack, and I need to press start in order to pause at the correct time. Like, I shouldn't miss any on... Oh, wait, I'm gonna miss a bunch on this screen, because I jinxed myself. Holy, I missed a lot. But it'll be fine. Pause there. Oh, that was a bit late on that one, and late on that one. Okay. Okay, I just need...
Extremely sketchy.
Again, I just need enough wing boot time to avoid the power of the wing boots is gone dialogue blocks when I'm done here, so that's all I'm trying to do. Maybe I shouldn't be so aggressive with saving seconds. Like, I'm costing so much real time. I just gotta find, like, the easy seconds to preserve. Like the... Oh, what the... Yeah, jumping into screens can be annoying because the game's really picky about how your exposition is lined up to let you do it on ladders. I don't know why. This is King Grieve, he has 250 HP. I finally killed him. Okay, 7 on the wing boot timer, not the best. It's gonna be really sketchy to try to avoid the power of the wing boots is gone dialogue box here. Probably gonna take some really ugly looking, heavy, like, real-time pauses. Oh, like, really heavy. Oh, it was early on them anyway. I gotta take a blind one in here. Yeah, I didn't get it. My apologies.
So close.
Yeah, I was... Where did I lose so many? Oh yeah, I was on that screen where I thought I wasn't going to lose any. Like, I went into that screen with 35 and I left with 30. Like, usually I don't drop any pauses in there. Anyway, this guru explains the plot twist of the game, where the king of the dwarves, you know, the plot of the game is like, the dwarves all mutated after a meteorite crashed into the world tree, and now they're going berserk. And then it turns out it wasn't their fault. It was the evil one in the meteorite made them all go insane. So he gives you the ring to open the final area, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go straight to the final boss, and the game's going to be over. Sorry you didn't get to say much, Toad, but...
Oh, no worries, man. I'm just here for support. You are killing it right now.
The support is appreciated. This has gone way better than my best of the NES run. And that hit was intentional there. That's a damage boost. So as you can see, like, I didn't go down at that weird angle. Like, I have freedom of movement in the air while I have wing boots. Anyway, the final fortress is actually pretty close. It's just in these doors we walked past earlier. So the final fortress is really confusing. It's sprawling and, like, you know, it's an infinite loop interconnected to itself. But we're just gonna go straight to the final battle here. And there's ointment right outside the door, too. It's so easy. It's like the most laughable final boss since a Gradius game. Oh, nice. I kept walk speed on that turnaround there. That's not too likely. So yeah, this chicken walker bow here is the final boss. Walker bow being somebody who made the task, and that's time. 28:34. Ugh. It didn't feel that bad. Like, world record is 27:22. I lost a whole minute to... Mostly to just falling out of hidden item screens.
Yeah, literally on hidden item screens are annoying. That's still really good.
Yeah, casual sub 30, no big deal. Only 2 people have ever done that, I guess. So let's hurry up and get through the King's dialogue box here. What's funny is sometimes your wing boot timer will run out while you're walking up to the King. Luckily, we don't keep timing for that. But yeah, I guess that was Faxanadu. I think I covered most of the mechanics. I was surprised how cavalier I was able to stay during all that, and just rattle off the mechanics once again. Happy to do it every time, because, I mean, the game doesn't have a lot of support. I'm kind of still the only active runner, but not as active as I should be. I feel like if I practiced more, I might have just got world record on Marathon Run, no big deal, but I'm pretty close to improving world record. I think that sub 27 should be able to happen this year.
That'd be impressive. I can look forward to seeing it. Make sure to give this man a follow and see the progress yourself.
Yes, I would appreciate that. And I